Give us the donut, the rosin, and when needed, even the pine tar.
Hey,
The International Diamond Center is proud to present On Deck with Jeff Cardozo and Steve Russell. For the next 60 minutes, we are peering into the box from 60 feet 6 inches.
Are you going to be impressed with a 500-foot home run?
Yeah. Power alley to power alley, we have you covered. Now, let's head out to the bump and join our Gators baseball radio broadcast battery. Here are Jeff and Steve.
Hello, welcome once again to another edition of the On Deck Show. He is Jeff Cardozo. I am Steve Russell. Thank you for tuning in. Back from our road trip to Starkville this past weekend where the Gators take 2 out of 3. Could have got greedy, partner, to get 3, but they accomplished what they needed to do, winning on the road.
Yeah, and I think that's how they played it too, understanding that's what was at stake, and used Clemente for 3 innings, so you knew he was burned for the next day. But go get the win. I think that's when it's all said and done. That's what Florida needs to do is win at this point. So get as many as you can. All
right. Don't forget we're broadcasting from Coach's podcast room at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill in Celebration Point. You can watch us on Facebook and YouTube. Listen later on Apple and Apple Podcast, Spotify, YouTube Podcast, and any of the nearly 40 platforms where you can find your favorite podcast. Like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And we will take your live questions and comments as well. But for now, we're going to do our questions of the week. And we have a lot of them, and we'll get to them. Questions of the week brought to you by Meldon Law. Meldon Law with 50 years of experience, the only injury law firm partner of the Florida Gators, Meldon Law. Won't back down. You can also send your questions to questions@gatorshows.com. All right, here we go. PQ in Gainesville. Gators could have swept if it wasn't for one bad call and some not great pitching. How detrimental was that called strike on Sunday?
It does. It costs a lot. Obviously, then they gave up a whole bunch of runs in the bottom of the 8th inning but the game changed, I think, at that point. So for those that don't know what we're talking about, it's a 3-2 pitch to Bobby Bozer, who's been incredible and obviously probably been your best hitter over the last couple of weeks. And, if this is home plate, this is where the ball was caught. So, down and off the plate. Now, if you look at the metrics, it was actually very, tippy-toppy bottom part of the zone. So if it was over the plate, it may have been called a strike, but it was about 2 balls off the plate. So that's how far it was, and, the guy just missed it. And obviously it's big because then you still only have 1 out in the inning. Then you've got Shelton. Then you've got Lawson after that. So really changed the whole landscape of the inning, and it might have been different.
Yeah. Danny in Gainesville, in your post-game interview with Sully, he says Sully hit it right on when he mentioned they were still searching for the third starter. Do you agree with the assessment?
I do. And it's obviously frustrating because you thought you had plenty of guys before the year started. Clemente was a guy that went up in the Cape, and he pitched really, really well. He wanted to be that starter, but you auditioned him. Didn't work out. So then you get Aiden King in there and think, well, now Capolla's out. So it's just they've never been able to figure it out. And that's the thing. Steve, we look at Luke McNeely sometimes, and especially the second inning of that game, you're like, man, that guy's got fantastic stuff. And then he comes out in the 3rd inning and hits a guy. And it's that mental aspect of the game that I think some of these guys haven't figured out yet because they've got all the talent in the world. And there's just really nobody else. You can't use Barberi as the 3rd starter. Certainly none of those other freshmen. Can't use really Billy Barlow. We've seen what he's done in the SEC, and it's not good enough. So
does Philpott deserve another chance?
Probably. He's got great stuff too, but I think, it's just that it's the mental side for both of those guys. I guess when it's all said and done, when you're looking at complete stuff, Philpott might actually have a little more because he factors that changeup in there and can do some different things. So we'll see, but just win the first 2 every weekend, and then we'll be okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Jason in Gainesville. Gators came from behind in both wins. Offense excelled, scoring 32 over the 3 games, which is the most in the series all year. Is this a sign of things to come?
I hope so, especially for Brody Donay. That's the big one. He hadn't had a homer in all of SEC play. Hits 3 this weekend, using the backside too, which was really nice to see. So And NATO's hitting. I mean, you think you might have found something now in Ashton Wilson, who's doing some stuff. So it really lengthens that lineup when they're doing good. And I think the biggest positive, Steve, is when you looked at that Mississippi State pitching staff going in, they were the best in the country at hits per 9 innings. They were only giving up 6.9 hits per 9 innings. So the Gators get 17, which is the most they've had all year, and then double digits in the next 2 games. So yeah, really nice offensive output for sure.
When we were doing the games, when you mentioned that stat, but you look at Mississippi State's pitching, and I was scratching my head like, really? They're only allowing – because they weren't that good. And guys that had really good numbers just blew up in that series for them. But they came back to at least win one. Jessica says, winning the series, solid RPI, keeps us in the hunt for a tourney run. I kept hearing 13 wins. Why 13?
Yeah, I think 12 is actually the number that's I have in my head, so I think that's what I'm shooting for because of how good the RPI is. I think you look at that number and it's still unknown because this is the first year we actually have a different comparison to years past. So when you look at 13, it was, hey, there's been a couple of teams over the years, including the Gators last year, that have had 13 wins. So 13 and 17 in the conference, they get into the NCAA tournament. There's been a handful, maybe 2 or 3 that have had 12, but they've had outstanding RPIs. Nobody's ever gotten in with 11 conference wins. So I think that's what you have to look at. But then again, you're now adding Texas and Oklahoma,
right? So
that makes the league even harder. So does maybe that change? I mean, look at what we saw with college basketball and how good the SEC was. There were a couple teams that were 6-12 out of the 18 games in basketball, and they got into the tournament. So maybe things change now because of how good the conference is.
You may see the same thing in softball too.
Sure,
because of that. Kevin in Ocala, who gets credit for the massive experience stadium and the dude in Starkville? How come no other schools duplicated this unique experience based on facilities, apartments, rooftop bar, largest on-campus stadium in America?
We do need a rooftop bar. That'd be cool.
Yeah,
that
would be.
Bring it to the fans. That's it. I mean, the fun in Starkville is go walk around the Walmart. So it's like there's just not much to do there. Wow. So it's just there's 30,000 people in the whole city. So it's, hey, go to baseball games and the support is awesome. I mean, the environment's tremendous, and the people are really, really cool. I mean, I was out there talking to them before the game. I walked around in those boxes on Saturday and Sunday, and people are offering you food. They're talking to you. They're offering you adult beverages, but I didn't take advantage of that. But it's just the people are awesome, and it's even when Florida blew it open on Friday night, you looked around, some of the people in the normal seats were leaving, but everybody stayed in the outfield because that's what it is. It's a social gathering. It's a party. It's very unique, and I commend them for going out and doing it.
Yeah, and I think they've done it for a while.
Sure.
There's tradition there. I'm old. Go back to the 70s, and they had, what they had there with couches and beds and things in the outfield. That's just been that way for a long time. And Jeff's point, we're not knocking Starkville. It's a smaller place with not a lot to do. Jennifer in Gainesville, Bobby Bozer seems to be coming along, become a hitting machine. Is this UF transfer starting to shine in his senior year? You bet.
Yeah, certainly so. Yeah, he's been a big part, and then even better when he's been in the leadoff spot. So been a catalyst to get things going.
Joseph in Gainesville, Sully's been saying that this team has what it takes to be better. They kind of showed some signs of greatness the last couple of weeks. Can they win 2 against Arkansas?
I hope so. Being at home, maybe. Arkansas is still a really good team and consensus top 5 in the country. You got to play really good, and that's the key. You got to pitch. Guys that are these freshmen that are now not freshmen anymore have to be able to say, okay, here's your job. Go get 3 outs or go get that one left-handed guy. Just do your job. If everybody does their job, Florida's certainly good enough, but that's been the problem. There's been a lot of misses and things not going their way. And you got to get breaks too. We saw it.
Yes.
Mississippi State, seeing eye singles, or they're robbing balls left and right, and they took 3 or 4 runs away from Florida in that Sunday game. So hopefully the other team's not that good, and you do your thing, and you got a chance to win.
One of the reasons I can't speak for Jeff, but that I'm doing this because I'm bad at math. But I did take a look, Dozo, at the schedule that's left. The combined record of the teams that Florida plays down the stretch, 42-19. Now, that's largely Texas and Arkansas.
Sure.
Right? But still, that's what Florida has to overcome to get to where they need to go. Pat in Gainesville, 6 players had 2 hits or more Friday, resulting in our best offensive performance of the year. Do you think the hitting can continue?
Yeah, same question. It just hopefully it's contagious. And Vandy's pitching staff was really, really good if you look back on that. And Arkansas is really, really good. And Texas has maybe the best pitching staff in the country.
Yeah.
So that's really what it depends on. I mean, you can beat up on Missouri because they had a bad pitching staff, but Mississippi State came in with some really good numbers. So hopefully that momentum continues.
Sarah in St. Augustine. Stevie did a great job on radio describing the Easter egg hunt after the game on Sunday. Have you ever seen anything like that? No. I've never seen anything like that. For those that don't know, look, I think everybody that's a home game on Easter celebrates in some way. After the game, they on the outfield, they spread, I don't know how many eggs.
Yeah, several thousand.
Thousands of eggs on the field. And you could see it. We both took pictures of it. And they let the kids out.
Yeah.
And what amazed me was how fast those eggs were scooped up. They were gone.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, you look down, and 45 seconds later, they were
gone.
they were all done. But,
Yeah, it was
a bunch
amazing.
of little kids running around was cool, and
It was.
I even got my picture taken with the Easter Bunny before the game.
Very nice.
They
Very
they
nice.
did a good job out there.
Zach in Lake City. How can Sully stay so calm when things are going crazy bad like they have been lately? He doesn't always stay calm.
Yes, he's not always calm, but he's also seen it for 17 years here. He's been around it. I mean, there's nothing that he really hasn't seen, and certainly he's going to get frustrated. I think we get frustrated calling the games too. You as fans get frustrated watching, so you have to understand that, hey, it's a really long game. There's really sometimes stuff that you can't control, and you just got to do your best to go out and coach and give the kids the right direction, and they have to go out and execute. And if they don't, it's not. And for a perfect example, we go back to the Sunday game, and Sully even said it afterwards. So they have numbers and metrics and all these things on all these hitters, so you know that this guy can't hit this pitch or this pitch. So the 9-hole hitter is a catcher, and he's hitting .91 against sliders from right-handers. So what do you throw him? A slider. But if it's a good slider, he strikes out. A bad slider, he hits a 3-run homer, and all of a sudden Florida's losing the game. So it's not like Sully said, hey, hang a slider so this guy can hit a 3-run homer. It's no, throw a really good slider so we can strike him out, and they don't score 3 runs. So that's what it comes down to.
Ashton and Newberry, softball's back in the groove, winning the series against Bama. With Rothrock not being perfect, does this team have the skills to win it all?
There's other good teams out there too. I mean, certainly offensively, they've got a chance too. The defense a little bit too. If you look at some of the stuff on the left side that we've talked about all year, but certainly, I mean, get hot and win. And look at the way she pitched in the final game. I mean, that's if she pitches like that, they can beat anybody.
Yeah, I think she's the key. Mm-hmm. If she's not a version of the good Rothrock, they're going to have a tough time getting back to Oklahoma City because they hit it, they field well enough, but I think she's the key in the circle. Rebecca in Gainesville, when going on road trips to broadcast, do you travel with the team on the plane? Do you join them for dinners and such?
Travel with them on the plane. We usually have breakfast, but we elect to not have dinners because us old guys can't eat at 11 o'clock at night. So don't want to eat a double burger or something like that.
Yeah, and we used to do that.
Yeah.
But we were younger. Yeah.
But no, it's good. I mean, and you get spoiled too, certainly, because you take another trip and then you actually have to go through baggage claim and security and all that other stuff. So, but no, they fly well. And certainly get taken care of.
Nicole in Spring Hill, question for both of you, yes or no, will this baseball team make it to Omaha?
Can you go maybe? That wasn't an option.
That wasn't an option. I would say no now. But how many times could we have said no last year before they made it? I mean, you only judge on what you see. Florida has a difficult schedule just to get to that point where they can qualify, and then they're not going to host, more than likely. So now you go on the road. I mean, you were there. The stretch that Florida went through on the road last year to get to Omaha was incredible. And that's not easy to replicate.
No, not at all. So, yeah, right now you would definitely say no. There's a long way to go, but they're getting better, and that's what it's all about.
You bet. Last one here, Lewis in Atlanta. How about a quick round about the Gators starting in the MLB? Who's hot and who's not?
Well, Pete's off to a really good start.
Sure
Good
is.
boy for the Mets, and they have the best record in baseball right now. So kudos to him. Yeah, jinx it because the Braves have won four in a
better.
row.
Yeah,
So
they're better now.
They're better. Yeah. Brady Singer's doing well. India's doing okay. Bader's hit a few homers up in Minnesota. So yeah, there's definitely some guys that are doing some good things. You anxious to see Coar maybe start to get in that Seattle rotation a little bit after he got traded. So. It's been fun, certainly watching, and we'll see if Sterling Thompson gets called up this year, Brandon Sproat. So there's still a couple of Gators that are kind of teetering on whether or not they're going to get the call up, and obviously Kaggs is the big name too. So I would expect probably 2 or 3 of those guys to be up in the summer.
Yeah, Kaggs has gotten off to a good start, so we may see him. And, of course, Indy now, being in Kansas City, has done well there too. Best and worst of the week, brought to you by Ruse Ugra, State Farm Insurance. State Farm agent Ruse Ugra is your go-to agent in Gainesville and North Central Florida for the service you deserve at the price you want. Best and worst.
Yeah, I'd say probably Ashton Wilson would be the best for me because, again, I look at the ball that he hit. Like, where does that power come from? It's kind of crazy. And he hit a ball. You're talking about the road in the postseason run last year. He hit a ball in Oklahoma State that was halfway up the scoreboard. And I was like, wow, that thing is absolutely destroyed. So he's made a big difference. He's cutting down on the strikeouts now. He's playing a really good right field. There was a couple of balls in the gap that it looked like Mississippi State guys wanted to stretch him into doubles, but he got over there and backhanded them very quickly. So little spark plug there at the bottom part of the order. And you can even throw NATO in there. I would say maybe the whole bottom part of the order. I mean, one of the games, the Saturday game, Florida won because of the bottom part of the order. Mm-hmm. So that was the best for me.
You know, speaking of Wilson, there's some guys, Jeff, that college pro, you insert them in the lineup, and they kind of need some time. Mm-hmm. They just need time to play every day, see pitching every day. And I think we're seeing that with Wilson now. I think he's in there every day now. He's seeing more and more pitching. He's getting better. Feel a little bad for Ty Evans because he came back, but he's been hurt. But Wilson's made the most of his opportunities, no doubt. We'll take a break. We'll come back. More of the On Deck Show coming up. Stay with us.
Meldon Law has been serving personal injury victims since 1971. In those days, Jeffrey Meldon's presence as an attorney in the music scene dubbed him with the nickname the Hippie Attorney. And although times have changed, 2 things haven't. Our commitment to bettering our community by helping the injured.
Albert, are you ready to go to the game?
And our love for the Florida Gators.
If you bleed orange and blue, Meldon Law is the firm for you.
Is your bank dropping the ball, not playing with heart or skill? Then you need to check out the scouting report on Campus USA Credit Union. That's a 5-star recruit if I've ever seen one. Campus has it all, like great rates and products, friendly service, and smart game plans for you and your money. So why not put some star power in your financial life? Visit campuscu.com or any campus service center today.
Honey, can I recruit you to take the garbage out?
Over 2 decades, Miapa has been a staple in Alachua County. Start your day right at Miapa, where fast and affordable authentic cuisine awaits.
We're known for serving the best Cuban coffee.
Our secret is in every sip and every bite, bringing the flavor of our culture straight to your palate. Everyone is welcome at Miapa Latin Cafe. Visit us at one of our locations and let us take you on a journey full of flavor. Miapa Latin Cafe, where every bite is a taste of tradition.
At Comfort Temp Heating and Air, we're proud to celebrate 40 years as your #1 local HVAC company. We offer energy-efficient solutions featuring quality products from Lennox. Whether it's new installation, system repairs, or routine maintenance, we promise to never sell you anything you don't need. Our professional and experienced technicians provide reliable service you can trust and will keep you informed throughout the entire process. At Comfort Temp, comfort is our business. Peace of mind is our promise.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact local agent Ruse Ogra for your personal price plan today.
Hi there, this is Coach Steve Spurrier, and I want to let you know that by popular demand, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill's delicious brunch is now served in a premium buffet. You have spoken, we have listened, and we're now serving Gainesville's only elevated buffet, complete with an omelet station, ginger sage chicken sausage, shredded short rib, and of course our chicken and waffles. Plus, you can enjoy bottomless mimosas and Bloody Marys. So join us every Saturday and Sunday from 11 to 3 for the best brunch in town.
Silverback Concrete is a family-led team of heavy concrete specialists that builds commercial structures for contractors who expect unrivaled quality, including the head ball coach's restaurant, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. You only have one chance to make a building that holds up to the highest standards through all kinds of weather. Visit silverbackconcrete.co to see why they're the #1 choice in the Southeast. You stand on it, we stand by it. Silverback Concrete's got your back.
Don't settle for a knockoff diamond when you can get the best diamonds at the best price. International Diamond Center, located in Celebration Point, for quality selection.
The most
and
important
value.
thing I learned from my father was work ethic and integrity. Never veer away from integrity.
You are Coach of the Week, brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union, putting some star power to work in your financial life for 90 years. Campus USA Credit Union. What do you got?
Coach of the Week. I think I might go with your guy up there in New York.
Ooh,
I mean, what he's been doing. And for as much as they struggled last year, and remember everybody got on him and how terrible it was, like, you got to give him credit. I mean, this is a guy that's been there for a couple of years now, but just has such a baseball background, and he knows the game, and he's got guys playing for him now and certainly wanting it. So, as much as I hate to say it, that's look out for the Mets this year.
Well, he kind of mirrored what the Gators did.
Yeah.
Right? They were terrible. I admit, I gave up on them. In June, they were just flat awful. I'm done. But give them credit. They resurrected and made the playoff. West Virginia is 34-4 this year, and they're not exactly a powerhouse. Randy Mazey is the coach there. I don't care what league you're playing in. If you're 34-4, you're pretty good, and he's done a good job. So he's Coach of the Week. Team of the Week brought to you by Comfort Temp Heating and Air. That's your #1 local HVAC company. Comfort Temp Heating and Air. Comfort our business, peace of mind, our promise.
I'm going to go with locally here, Buchholz. We'll stick with the baseball theme, and they finished the year with one loss. That's it. One loss the entire year, and now the regionals start this weekend. They won their 3rd straight district championship. So congratulations to Ron Brooks and company. But it's a pretty special time now because we have all these 3-game series that we're used to in college baseball. They're going to actually do that at the high school level now.
Saw that.
So
yeah.
Regionals are now, you have to beat a team 2 out of 3, and then you've got to do that 3 times before you end up getting to the state. So they started the playoffs a little bit earlier. Buchholz has some pretty good pitching right now, so you feel confident that they can get it done. They made it to the state finals for the first time ever last year and got a chance to do it again.
Another college team that isn't exactly a baseball powerhouse is Kansas.
Yeah.
And they're having a really nice year. I kind of like that. I mean, we're spoiled in our league because we see so many teams. And the ACC is a good baseball league, too. And the Big 12 kind of doesn't, or even the Big 10 doesn't get a lot of love, but Kansas has had a nice year, so they are going to be the team of the week. We'll take a break, come back. More to come yet on the On Deck Show. Stay with us.
I'm David Steele, voice of the Gators in 1984, when Brian Nasworth began a new journey, opening Quality Plumbing.
And I'm Mick Huber. During my 33 years as voice of the Gators, I called championship games for football, basketball, and baseball. And at the same time, Quality Plumbing became champions for residents and businesses of Gainesville.
I'm Sean Kelly, and now I'm the voice of the Gators as Quality Plumbing celebrates its 40th anniversary. And for years to come, I'll be calling the games, and Quality Plumbing will continue to be the #1 plumbing company for Gator Nation.
CFC 043073.
The most important thing I learned from my father was work ethic and integrity. Never veer away from integrity, even if it costs you money.
International Diamond Center owner Keith LeClaire.
The core value for IDC is to protect the customer.
That means offering the largest selection, uncompromising quality, the strongest warranties, and honest guidance from experts who are not paid on commission. International Diamond Center at Celebration Point. Online, shopidc.com.
Titan MRI, North Central Florida's premier independent diagnostic testing MRI facility. At Titan MRI, we're focused on you, the patient, having a great customer experience. Our MRI equipment is modern and 75% quieter than any unit in its class. And our MRI unit has one of the largest openings of any of the newer high-strength MRI units, which allows comfortable scanning for potential claustrophobic and larger patients. At Titan MRI, we look forward to serving you.
I'm tired of you living in pain, and I want you to get real lasting relief from chronic pain in your knees, back, shoulders, and hips. QC Kinetics can get you moving again with cutting-edge regenerative treatments with no drugs, no downtime, and no surgery. Stop putting it off. Call now and schedule your free consultation. Call QC Kinetics now in Gainesville, Ocala, and the Villages. 352-400-4550. 352-400-4550.
Florida Victorious is a powerful chapter in UF's NIL story.
We are
Florida Victorious. Gator fans, let's get on board now, okay?
Florida Victorious, proud NIL partner of the Florida Gators.
Fans don't settle for a knockoff diamond when you can get the best diamonds at the best price. It's International Diamond Center, located in Celebration Point. For quality, selection, and value, International Diamond Center. It's the official jeweler of the Florida Gators.
All right, welcome back to On Deck. Let's go to our Relief Pitcher of the Week, brought to you by QC Kinetics. If you've got joint pain that won't go away, check out QC Kinetics for long-lasting relief. Relief Pitcher of the Week.
Yeah, I got to give it to Clemente. I mean, it was lights out again, really, really good. I mean, came in and gave up the home run, but after that, when it got really close, a one-run game, he was just lights out again. And you really look at the winning streak that Florida's been on. He had that great outing against Florida State to get that thing started, and he's really solidified now the back end of that bullpen. So where he wasn't that good as a starter, he has really, really turned this season around. And it reminds me a lot of Neely last year and that impact that he made. And probably if, Florida can get to the postseason, you'll see Clemente in back-to-back games like that and doing what he needs to do because, he's been stretched out certainly. And just there's a competitiveness that you need to have as a closer. And he's got the best mindset of anybody out there.
Just as an aside, if I said to you right now, who's the best closer in the big leagues, who would you say?
Yeah, that's tough.
You're making my point.
Yeah,
because none really come to mind. I'm sure if I really thought about it, there is. But you before it was Bruce Sutter or this, but you just don't sense that now.
And I think no more like Eric Gagne's or people like that just dominated.
Yeah,
but I think that's again part of. There's a seventh inning guy, there's an eighth inning guy, and there's a ninth inning guy.
Right.
There's so many games, and they're intertwined now. So you're using more than one guy.
Yep. Quality Game of the Week brought to you by Quality Plumbing. Quality Plumbers, Gainesville's trusted for over 30 years. Quality Plumbing, their name says it all.
I think the one that I'm really looking at this weekend, other than the Gators, of course, Tennessee goes to LSU. LSU still standing pretty strong, but Tennessee's all of a sudden lost a couple, and Kentucky went in there and beat them, which you don't do in that place. So that was really big for Kentucky. And remember, I guess probably wasn't on this show, but we were talking about after seeing Tennessee, it's like, I don't know if the pitching staff is going to be able to hold up. And when they get 7, 8, 9 weeks in and these guys are just throwing and they're not used to it, like I wish we would have played Tennessee at the end of the year as opposed to the beginning of the year, because I think they're going to slide a little bit. Guys can figure out how to pitch to them now that there's more tape on them with all these transfers. So I wouldn't be surprised if Tennessee starts to stumble a little bit.
The big pitch, Henderson for Tennessee, Is that who that is?
No.
Tell me. I'm losing it. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, the lefty.
Very slow to the plate.
Yeah.
Right? Kentucky stole 15 bases.
Yeah. That's what they do.
And that is what they do,
Yeah.
but it's also, I mean, he's been good for Tennessee, but it's a liability if you just let guys steal bases all the time. So, doesn't Texas and Texas A&M play this week?
They do.
That's the one I'm looking for.
Yeah.
That, you talk about drama dripping with A&M's coach going to Texas, that rivalry in and of itself, A&M playing better of late after a terrible start, that's going to be some series. That'll rock, no question about it. Player of the Week brought to you by Florida Victorious, game-changing plays, life-changing impact. Florida Victorious, proud partner of the Florida Gators on and off the field.
Well, there was a time where we were talking about on the broadcast that Brody Donay might be the SEC Player of the Week. He didn't get it because there's other guys that were a little bit better. But if Brody Donay can do that, Florida's going to be in the postseason. So you go back to all those questions because he is that run producer that you were missing. And 9 homers that he had, but none were in SEC play. All of a sudden he hits 3 this weekend, and guess what happened? When he hit homers, they won. So he is the difference maker in this lineup. And it wasn't just the homers. He hit doubles, he had single, he stole a base. He was all over the place doing his thing. So really nice to see Brody Donay do that. I just hope it's not a one-week thing. If he can continue that, then look out, rest of the league.
Yeah, he will lengthen that lineup, no question. Don't forget, we're broadcasting from Coach's Podcast Room at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill and Celebration Point. You can watch us on YouTube and Facebook. Listen later. YouTube and Apple Podcasts, Spotify, any of the nearly 40 platforms you can listen in on. Like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And we are taking questions live here for the next few minutes. We are still here. We'll take a break, come back. More of the On Deck Show coming up. Stay with us.
Meldon Law has been serving personal injury victims since 1971. In those days, Jeffrey Meldon's presence as an attorney in the music scene dubbed him with the nickname the Hippie Attorney. And although times have changed, 2 things haven't. Our commitment to bettering our community by helping the injured.
Albert, are you ready to go to the game?
And our love for the Florida Gators.
If you bleed orange and blue, Meldon Law is the firm for you.
At Comfort Temp Heating and Air, we're proud to celebrate 40 years as your #1 local HVAC company. We offer energy-efficient solutions featuring quality products from Lennox. Whether it's new installation, system repairs, or routine maintenance, we promise to never sell you anything you don't need. Our professional and experienced technicians provide reliable service you can trust and will keep you informed throughout the entire process. At Comfort Temp, comfort is our business. Peace of mind is our promise.
For over 2 decades, Miapa has been a staple in Alachua County. Start your day right at Miapa, where fast and affordable authentic cuisine awaits.
We're known for serving the best Cuban coffee.
Our secret is in every sip and every bite, bringing the flavor of our culture straight to your palate. Everyone is welcome at Miapa Latin Cafe. Visit us at one of our locations and let us take you on a journey full of flavor. Miapa Latin Cafe, where every bite is a taste of tradition.
The most important thing I learned from my father was work ethic and integrity. Never veer away from integrity, even if it costs you money.
International Diamond Center owner Keith LeClaire.
The core value for IDC is to protect the customer.
That means offering the largest selection, uncompromising quality, the strongest warranties, and honest guidance from experts who are not paid on commission. International Diamond Center at Celebration Point. Online, shopidc.com.
Silverback Concrete is a family-led team of heavy concrete specialists that builds commercial structures for contractors who expect unrivaled quality, including the head ball coach's restaurant, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. You only have one chance to make a building that holds up to the highest standards through all kinds of weather. Visit silverbackconcrete.co to see why they're the #1 choice in the Southeast. You stand on it, we stand by it. Silverback Concrete's got your back.
Is your bank dropping the ball, not playing with heart or skill? Then you need to check out the scouting report on Campus USA Credit Union. That's a 5-star recruit if I've ever seen one. Campus has it all, like great rates and products, friendly service, and smart game plans for you and your money. So why not put some star power in your financial life? Visit campuscu.com or any campus service center today.
Honey, can I recruit you to take the garbage out?
Well, it's time for the 7th inning stretch, courtesy of Miapa Latin Cafe. Discover 11 delicious Cuban sandwiches at Miapa Latin Cafe. They've got 5 locations in Gainesville and Alachua. You are never far from the best Cuban food north of Miami. And no Cuban food in Starkville, but I wish they would do that promotion on the road, too. Like, they give away the free coffee here if you win at home, but we haven't been at home a bunch, and we still got to go on the road a couple more times. So let's start a petition to get me up on the road if the Gators win.
You should celebrate a win wherever.
Sure.
Right?
No doubt.
All right. By the way, our Facebook and YouTube comments brought to you by Titan MRI. No insurance is no problem. Titan MRI has same-day scheduling available. Call them up. Start feeling better today. TitanMRI.com. All right, let's do our softball review, Jeff, brought to you by Silverback Concrete. Silverback Concrete builds firm foundations for generations. You stand on it. We stand by it. Silverback Concrete. Florida's got LSU this week. And, look, the SEC in softball is just like the SEC in baseball and men's basketball. There's a lot of good teams. We saw how many teams made the tournament last year. Big series for both teams. Yeah, it certainly is, and it was a big series for Florida last week, coming back and doing what they did against Alabama. We were watching one of those games in the hotel room, and it was back and forth. So to pull it off like that, I think speaks volumes. And they mentioned the stat, which was kind of crazy, that Florida had never lost 3 home SEC series, and that was in jeopardy when Alabama took the lead, and then Florida comes back and wins it in the 7th. So, think about that, how good that program's been consistently for a long time, and never losing 3 SEC series at home in the same year. So maybe spark them a little bit. Alabama's obviously in the postseason all the time, in the College World Series all the time, so get some confidence by doing that and doing what you need to do, and go up there and face the former Gator in Beth. So we'll see if they can keep it going. But Mia Williams good again. Shoemaker's been good again. And if you can get the pitching like we saw in that final game, then you're probably going to win a lot. And the Gators close the regular season hosting Oklahoma. So that'll be pretty nice. Be a tough ticket. Yeah, no doubt. All right, let's do our top 4 teams, brought to you by Coke Zero. The new and improved recipe tastes like real Coca-Cola with 0 sugar, 0 calories. Who's your top 4? Well, Texas still number 1. They just keep rolling, doing pretty good thing. We mentioned Clemson last week, and they've got that center fielder who had the great catch in the Super Regional last year. He made another one this past weekend that made SportsCenter. So they've got it rolling. They're pitching really well right now. So Clemson's certainly a force to be reckoned with. And then all of a sudden, look out, here comes Oregon State. Oregon State hadn't been relevant for probably 7 or 8 years, but all of a sudden they've been really good again, and they've been on a hot streak. Competition, I think that's still to be determined, but playing really, really well. And right now you're seeing all these SEC teams beat up on each other. So even Florida State's getting a lot of kudos. And I might throw up in my mouth for saying this, are not top 4 teams, but all of a sudden look out for Miami. They're playing a lot better. Playing really, really well, which then would help the Gators' RPI by taking 2 out of 3 against them. Of course, Florida took 2 out of 3 against Florida State too, and Florida State's in the top 5 now in the polls. So that out-of-conference schedule certainly is going to pay off. Gators just need to get some more SEC wins, and they're in. I had a friend of mine ask me this, and I'll ask you the same thing because it was an interesting question. He said, who would your top 4 be just in the SEC? Yeah. No, that's Texas, Arkansas, yes, for sure. Those are 1, 2 for me. I think LSU, even though we haven't seen them, I think what I've been able to watch on TV, pretty darn good. And then the question is, I think you have that tier of Vandy, Georgia, and Tennessee, and we've played them all. Vandy's probably the weakest offensively on that. So I think you'd probably have to go Tennessee or Georgia. But, the way Georgia looked against us, I thought they were the best team in the country. Yeah. So I'd probably put, from at least my eyeballs and what they did against Florida, Georgia right ahead of Tennessee. Okay. We'll take our final break, come back and wrap up the On Deck show. Stay with us.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact local agent Roos Ogra for your personal price plan today.
I'm tired of you living in pain, and I want you to get real lasting relief from chronic pain in your knees, back, shoulders, and hips. QC Kinetics can get you moving again with cutting-edge regenerative treatments with no drugs, no downtime, and no surgery. Stop putting it off. Call now and schedule your free consultation. Call QC Kinetics now in Gainesville, Ocala, and the Villages. 352-400-4550. 352-400-4550.
I'm David Steele, voice of the Gators in 1984, when Brian Nasworth began a new journey, opening Quality Plumbing.
And I'm Mick Huber. During my 33 years as voice of the Gators, I called championship games for football, basketball, and baseball. And at the same time, Quality Plumbing became champions for residents and businesses of Gainesville.
I'm Sean Kelly, and now I'm the voice of the Gators as Quality Plumbing celebrates its 40th anniversary. And for years to come, I'll be calling the games, and Quality Plumbing will continue to be the #1 plumbing company for Gator Nation.
CFC 043073.
Titan MRI, North Central Florida's premier independent diagnostic testing MRI facility. At Titan MRI, we're focused on you, the patient, having a great customer experience. Our MRI equipment is modern and 75% quieter than any unit in its class. And our MRI unit has one of the largest openings of any of the newer high-strength MRI units, which allows comfortable scanning for potential claustrophobic and larger patients. At Titan MRI, we look forward to serving you.
Florida Victorious is a powerful chapter in UF's NIL story.
We are
Florida Victorious.
Gator fans, let's get on board now, okay?
Florida Victorious, proud NIL partner of the Florida Gators.
International Diamond Center, the official jeweler of the Florida Gators. Visit us online at shopidc.com to see our selection of premier diamonds you can't get anywhere else. International Diamond Center, your family-owned diamond connection located at Celebration Point. And again, I want to thank Titan MRI for sponsoring our Facebook and YouTube comments. No insurance, no problem. Titan MRI has same-day scheduling available. Call them up, start feeling better today. That's titanmri.com. Well, the Gators back in action tonight. Georgia Southern is here. They're always good, Georgia Southern. That'll be a good midweek. And it's going to be a 6 o'clock game, not a 6:30 game. And then Arkansas rolls in here. Jeff, I looked up some quick things here. 328 team batting average is number 4 in the country. And they're also a very, very good pitching team. They're as balanced as anybody in the league.
Yeah, and that's not been the case at Arkansas. Normally they can pitch and not really hit all that well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, give Dave Van Horn credit. It's still such a surprise that he's never won one. And we mentioned, Oregon State. That was that year that the ball, if it's just caught in foul territory, Arkansas wins a national title. Instead, nobody gets it. Oregon State wins the rest of that game and then the next one to win the national title. So you never know. But Arkansas is always good. He and Sully, Dave Van Horn and Sully have a great relationship. I think it's, probably other than maybe Tim Corbin, they get along the best out of anybody with Sully. So I think there's a lot of respect for both sides, and they're going to play really, really good. And, they've got the Aloy brothers. They had one last year. Now they bring in another one this year. So those guys are really, really swinging it well. It's a deep lineup. So it's going to be very, very difficult. And, flat out, Arkansas is better. So, Gators being at home, hopefully the crowds will be big. I know encourage everybody out there to come be a part of this thing and at least try to energize the Gators a little bit, because it does help, certainly. So, you just got to go in with a mindset, of course, try to win every game. But hopefully you can get a good start from Peterson. If you do, like you did last week, and he goes 6 innings, then that changes the rest of the weekend. And then Aiden King probably didn't have the best line last week, but he's still okay, and we'll see what happens.
I want to run some quick numbers by from the SEC.
Sure.
I always try to look these up. It's interesting. Texas, who Florida will play, has a team ERA of less than 3, 2.94. Georgia has 115 homers. They're the only Division I team with more than 100 home runs, although they've fallen off a little bit of late. And then 7 SEC teams have pitching staffs that average more than 9 strikeouts per 9 innings. Power pitching. Florida's one of them, by the way. Even, Florida's not done great in terms of earned run average, but in terms of strikeouts, Tennessee, Florida, a whole bunch of teams are there. So we'll see what the Gators do again tonight against Georgia Southern this weekend as Arkansas comes to town. Thanks to our producer, Zach Rothrock, for doing his usual really, really good job. We thank you for tuning in. For Jeff Cardozo, I'm Steve Russell. See you next week. So long, everybody.
We thank you for listening to On Deck with Jeff Cardozo and Steve Russell, presented by the International Diamond Center. The show and the On Deck Show archive is available for you via podcast.